Okay, let's continue with our indexing topic. Okay, and let me share my screen. I hope you're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's continue this indexing part. Okay, so just a recap. Okay, in the last yesterday session, we have seen, right, that we have book table, right? And for this book table, we have created one clustered index, and for title
Yes.
and for author column, we have created a non-clustered index, right? So
Yes, sir.
when we go and when I execute this, select star from this, it will go for which operation in the execution plan for this title?
The third one, index.
Seek,
Oh,
correct,
seek. Yeah,
perfect. Index seek, right?
yeah.
So if you go your execution plan, it's going for the index seek, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and if you can see the actual number of rows is one, estimated number of rows is also one, right? Now,
Yeah.
uh, if I execute this, what will happen?
It will do a index scan.
Okay, let's execute that. And if I go executions, yeah, your guess is correct. It's going for index scan, right?
Yes.
But but you can see it's a clustered index scan, right? Not a non-clustered. So we have
Yeah.
created a non-clustered index on this title, right? But
All right.
still
Yeah.
it's going for a cluster scan. The reason is that even though we have created a non-clustered index for this title, okay? So if you can remember this Excel, right? So I created this is non-clustered index, right, for title. So if it will go for these tools of titans, and then it will go to this index, then it will find this row id 25, right? Again it will go into this row id, right, 25, and along with a book it will find other column as well, right? So it will be lookup
Yes.
operations will be happen, right? So the SQL Server engine have to jump from this indexing table to this non-clustered index to this clustered index table, right? So there will be jump operations happens, right? Lookup operations will be happen. So what SQL engine decided, instead of going for this non-clustered index, right, and then look up into this clustered index table, that actual data, why should I not go with it directly? Because the data is very limited, right? So instead of that, doing
Yes.
this jump operations or that lookup operations, let me go directly into the cluster scan, and I will do the cluster scan and I will find this record, because it's easy for me instead of going here and there, right?
Yes,
Got
sir.
it? Got it. So that
Yeah.
was the recap. Okay, that was the recap of the studies. Now we're going to learn something interesting now. Okay, so let's go to the step number 5 and try to create the same scenario that in step 4 we have created, right? So if you can see, I have a book library table. Okay, same like book tables, I have created another book tables, but I just give the name book library. Why? Because now I'm going to add a 1 lakh records. I'm going to add a 1 lakh books there.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm creating book lab publisher, author, and book library. So I'm just keeping the um, relationship between them. And if you can see, I already given the primary key. Okay, so that
Primary
means
key.
it
Yeah.
will create a clustered index on this, right?
Yes.
We have seen, right, when we create a primary key, it's create a clustered index, and it will order the data in a right way, right, in arranged manner, right? So I'm giving this as
Yes,
a,
sir.
and these are my foreign keys. Okay, so I'm creating this
Yeah.
table. Okay, now let's say let me create this table and execute this. Okay, so you can see
Okay.
that I got all my records. Okay, here now tell me, if I go and do a select star from table, what will happen? It will be a index scan, it will be table scan, or what will happen? What will be the operation in the execution plan?
It is in ordered way, so it will do an index scan.
Right, index scan. Again, there are the two indexes, right? One is okay, so on this there is only clustered index, right? For
Yeah.
book library. So it will go
Book
for the index scan, but which index scan? Clustered index scan, right? Because
clustered.
we have the
Yeah.
clustered index here, right? So if I execute this, and okay, here's the execution plan, right? If I go to the execution plan, it's showing that it's index scan, right? Clustered index scan, right?
Yeah.
So your answer is absolutely correct, right? Now tell me, if I execute this, select star from book library, okay, right?
Okay.
Where title is equal to this, and I'm just fetching the title, okay, what will happen? Same scenario.
If we
Hmm.
uh, if we have created a non-clustered
Index,
index, it will go for index 6.
correct. But right now we haven't created index and non-clustered index for this title, right?
Yeah.
So
So
which operations it will
it
use?
will go for table scan.
Same. Why it will go for table scan? We have all clustered indexes there, right? So it should go for index scan, right?
Okay.
Index scan, right?
Yeah.
See what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
It should go for index scan. Yeah.
right? Because for book live, for this table we have already a primary key, right? So book is
Ah.
arranged in a sequence, so it will go for index scan, right? So if I
Okay.
execute this, okay, now if I execute this, you will see something interesting in the execution plan, okay, that I
Okay.
will show you. Okay. Just what happened, data is not available here. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Mm, because I'm just I want to just delete some unnecessary records. Okay, so just give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Select start from, let me check. I will get some multiple records because I have to delete that at 947. Okay, so I have to select 946. 946. I have to delete some duplicate records. Okay, so just ignore this step.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Now let me execute this. Okay, and this here is my question was, okay, I got this book, right?
Yeah.
And if I go to the execution plan, it should be a clustered index scan, right?
Okay.
It did the clustered index scan, right? And now the same situation here, right? So here we have created here if I go, right, select start from select start from this title, right? So it will go for the indexing, but for this scenario, it's going for the cluster scan, right? That we discussed, right?
Yeah.
Even though title have the non-clustered index, but we need all the columns. That's why instead to avoid that lookups, it's going for clustered index scan, right?
Clustered index. Yes.
Right. But if I go here and if I do the same scenario, if I go select star from this, okay, and if I
Huh.
execute this for title, okay, and if I go to the executions plan, it is also did a same thing, right? Clustered index scan.
Yeah.
Here is also it's did the same clustered index scan, right? But can you see the some difference in the execution plan? Here you are getting something in a green,
Missing index impact 98.46.
right? So
Yeah.
what it's saying, it's missing the non-clustered index. It's saying, why you're not creating a non-clustered index on this title,
Okay.
right? But here,
Okay.
it's here, even though it's a match, even though here's non-clustered index is available here, right? But it still go for the clustered index scan. And here we got this message. Okay, so if I go here and let me drop this index, okay, for this, okay, books, let me go for books and index. This is my non-clustered index for title, right? If I delete
Yeah.
this, let me delete this, let me refresh. Okay, now if I go and do same thing here, still it will go for index scan, clustered scan, right? Clustered index scan, but I'm not getting this message here, right?
Yeah.
right? But when I'm doing for this 1 lakh records, I'm getting this message, and it's saying impact is 98%. Means if you add this non-clustered missing index, you will get 98% good results, right? That means it's
Okay.
very effective. That's what. But here it's not
Okay.
saying, right? So it's not giving this message here. So there are the
Yeah.
two reasons. Okay. So first reason is he has only 120 records, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the result set is too small, right? So if you remember yesterday, I given the examples. Let's say in your room, you have the 10 books, right?
Yeah.
So what will be easy for you to handle these 10 books in your book with your brain, or you should go in the library and use that indexing and all that stuff to put your book,
Yeah. With my brain.
right? Because it's very easy and it's very small data. If you go for
Yeah.
indexing, putting your one book in this section, one book in that sections, you have 10 books, and then you will go for the with the indexing or mapping. It will take a lot of time, right? Instead of that, you can do it
Yeah.
easily, the 10 books on your table as well, right?
Yeah.
That's the reasons SQL engine is smart enough. It will easily identified that, okay, so the result set is too small, so not need to create any index, right? For this I will handle this. So SQL engine using his brain, SQL engine using his brain to identify this. Okay, so it's very fast SQL engines. But at the same time, let's say now the second scenario where you have the 1 lakh books, right? So how you'll handle, will you handle in your room, or will you go for the library approach?
I will go for the library approach.
Right, definitely. So 1 lakh books you will arrange in a way that so that you can you will create the index so that you can find any book easily. Let's say you want to find one book with the name Introduction to SQL Server. So you will create one index, right? So you'll add some that book titles along with the like the same way this non-clustered index, right? So that you will add, and then let's say you have to find that book. Definitely you will find rich dad poor dad. You'll go to the 99
Yeah.
number locations and you
19.
can easily find. So that's the reason here you are getting this missing index syntax. Okay, so you can see that even SQL will provide you that syntax as well. Okay, so that is the power of
Okay.
SQL engine, right? If you go right click here, okay, and if you go and missing index detail, if you click on the missing index detail, you'll get this create non-clustered index, and you can see that
Okay.
it is already created for title. Okay, got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. So just forget about this part right now. I will explain you in a bit. Okay, so it create
Yeah.
the index. Okay, you have to give the name here, and it will create the index. So that's it's given you the ready-made code. Okay, so this is how you can find the missing index in your execution plan. Okay, so sometimes in interview they ask, right, how you will optimize your SQL query also or procedures. So you can tell them that I will go through the executions plan. I will find if there is index table scan is happening way, right? Table scan is very bad operations, right? If there is index scan is
Okay.
happening, those are the bad operations. I will always go for to find out the index seek operations, right?
Indexing.
Seek operations, or I
Okay.
will find. Okay, now so this is the index seek operations. So we will always try how we can use the index seek operations, right? Instead of index scan or table scan. Scan, end of the day it
Okay.
becomes, it will scan all the records, right? So
Yeah.
if we can go here and if we can check in the executions plan. Okay, so here you can see that, okay, actual number of rows it reads 99,000 something, right? The
Yeah.
same way its estimated number of rows to be read, it's 1 lakh, right?
1 lakh. Yeah.
Estimated is 1 lakh, means because in database I have the 1 lakh records, and number of rows, actual number of rows it's reads 99,000
Yeah.
something, right? And that's the actual problem, because just to get a one record or one book I have to scan all these records, right? So that's not a good idea, right? So that's why it's giving you the this index, right? So
Okay.
let's create this index. Okay, let's create this index. Okay, let me copy this and paste here. Okay, so where I explained yesterday, right? The syntax for our non-clustered index is ncix underscore my table name, and then
Yeah.
on
Books
which
like
column I'm creating that I will
title.
write. So this is create non-clustered index, and this is my index name on this table on this title. Okay. Now if I
Yeah.
execute this, my index is created now. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, okay, perfect. Now my next question is that now if I go and execute this, select title from this, what will be the operation in my execution
It
plan?
will be index seek.
Perfect. It should be index seek, and your guess is correct, right? It's index seek. And now you can see the interesting fact here is that, can you see that actual number of,
Non-clustered.
yeah, yeah, it's a non-clustered index seek,
Yeah.
right? Because we have created it non-clustered index on the title, right? So it's going for
Yeah.
non-clustered index seek. Okay, index seek, always
Okay.
index seek, but there are the two indexes, right? Clustered index seek and non-clustered index seek.
Clustered.
If I use
Yeah.
a column which is for a clustered index, let's say ID, in that case it will go for a clustered index seek. In this case
Okay.
it's go for the non-clustered index seek.
Non-clustered.
End of the day,
Yeah.
we are interested in index seek operation, right? Maybe
Okay.
it's a clustered or it may be non-clustered, that matter, right?
Non-clustered. Okay.
Yeah, and if you can see that now the actual number of rows and estimated number of rows is one, right? So this is how it
One.
optimized, right?
Okay.
Got it. Okay, now
Yeah. Yeah.
the next interesting question. Okay, now if I go and instead of this title, okay, if I go for star, but I am using in where condition title, okay, and if I execute this, what will be the
It
execution
will be
operation?
index and yeah.
It will be index scan again. Okay,
Yeah.
so based on this scenario you are saying, right, it will be index scan, the
Yeah.
step number 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but here the things will be different because here we have the 1 lakh records. Okay, so let's see in the executions plan, you can see index seek is there, right?
Okay.
Okay, no problem, I will explain
Okay.
you. Okay, so can you see that
Yeah.
because here we have 1 lakh records, in this situation there is
Yeah.
only 120 records, that's why it's go for clustered scan and it find out all this. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, so that's the reason here is clustered index for the small result set, but here if you can see for large result set, okay, for this large result sets it's go for index seek, definitely it went for the index seek for this title column, right? But along with
Okay.
that, can you see something like key lookup
Yeah.
operation is happening here, right? Now we'll understand what is the key lookup operation. Now again, let's go to this scenario, right? So this is my library, this is my list of books, and this is my index. Okay,
Yeah.
right? Just imagine this is the index for 1 lakh book, right? This is
Okay.
yesterday sessions we have seen, right? This is for just 120 books. But now imagine so
Yeah.
you have the 1 lakh books in your library, and this is your index, right? One for 1 lakh book. Okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you want to find this book, Introduction to SQL Server, and this book ID is 99,000 something, right? So it will scan 99,000 records, books, and then it will find, right? So instead of that, here's it went for the indexing and the key lookup. So I will tell you what is key lookup. Okay. Now
Okay.
let's say key lookup. We yesterday also discussed about this, right? Let's say for this book, Tools of Titans, I got this row ID as a 25. Now for other columns, it will go to here, right? For this 25, because this
Okay.
time in my SQL statement, I am asking for select star, not for title. When I will go for
Not
title,
yeah.
definite. When I go for title, it will go for the index seek only. But now I have asked for the star, means I want all the columns, right? So that's the problem. It's find this 25, right? And for 25, it went into the main tables, right? This is my clustered index tables where actual data is exist, right? So this is my logical data, right? This is my index page. Same like your book, right? Back of the book you have the index, right, where you have the chapter name in or ascending orders, and based on that you find the
Yeah.
page number the same way it goes here into the page number. But here problem is that along with this title I want publisher, year, publisher, author, all this information. So what happening here, for SQL engine it will be one round trip, that is called that is lookup. Got it?
Okay. Okay. From non-clustered to clustered.
Exactly. So okay, wait. will be very big actually. Okay, let me take a snap, print screen. Okay, and I have to put here. Actually, I want to show you. I
Okay.
want to visualize that things. Okay, let's see if I'm able to do here. I think not. Okay. Okay. So here is pencil. Can I use this pencil? Okay. Now, as I said, this is my index, right? Just imagine this is my index, right? Which is
Yeah.
at the back of my page. And this is my main data, actual data in this clustered index, where is data is arranged in physical order, right? On book ID base. Now, if I ask for one book, right? Let's say Introduction to SQL, and which is at 99,000 number. So first it will find this book in the index, and then it will go it will go for that row ID to find the other columns, right? Because I'm here asking for other star. Star means other columns as well, right?
Hello.
Yes. Can you?
Uh, then-
Yeah.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, my internet connection is
No
unstable.
problem. No problem. Okay. So from here, it will look for other columns to this table, right? And that's what we call as lookup operation.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
And that's what we call it as a lookup operation. And that's why it suggested you for that key lookup. Make
Okay.
sense?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but again, this execution plan is something like that map for getting your desired output, right? So this is nothing but map,
Yeah.
right? But so if you are adding extra operations, that will impact on the performance. Let's say you have to go from Pune to Mumbai, and this is your execution plan. So initially your execution plan contains only two operations, right? So if you go and execute this, you have only two operations, right? Index seek, and
Yeah.
you're going directly Pune to Mumbai. But let's say
Yeah.
here in this case, it's added some extra operations. That means it will impact on your performance, right? So here
Yes.
your lookup operations is added, extra extra efforts is added for this, right? So that will
Yeah.
impact on your performance. Okay. So is there any way that we can avoid this lookup operation? Any guess what we can do to avoid this lookup operation?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, no problem. You understand the situation, right? Only at
Yeah.
least,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, okay, now I will tell you uh, if you remember, this is the code, right? This was the code
Yeah.
that generated by the SQL engine, right, in the execution plan. So
Yeah.
this was the code given by this. Okay, so what it's saying, just create the index on the title, but at the same
Yeah.
times add this include. Include means you can call it as a covered index. Okay, you can call it as a covered index. Okay,
Okay.
covered index. So what it will do, along with index on title, it will add this extra column in the index itself.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so now in our scenario, now here I have added here in this index, I have only book ID and book name, right? Title. So along with that, in
Yeah.
when it will create the index, it will add all this column, general, price, publishers, authors, and all that stuff. It will add only here only. Okay, it will add this column here,
Okay.
all this
Okay.
data.
Yeah.
So SQL engine not need to go for this lookup operation. Okay, so this
Okay.
operations will not happen, and it will save your 50% cost. Okay, so this is one of my favorite operations that I used to check in executions plan if I find any table scan or index scan or this lookup operations. I always go to add. What you have to do. You have to just find out that index, and in that index, you have to include whatever the columns available in the select list, right? So if you
Okay.
can
Yeah.
see, I have added select star from, right? So that's the reasons
Yeah.
it's added all this column, right? If you can see genre, price, publisher, author ID, IBN, rating. So it's added all this column here, right?
Yeah.
So let's say tomorrow you are working in the IT industry, and let's say here it will ask you for like something like that. Let's say title and maybe publisher ID, okay? And let's say maybe rating. Maybe they have taken only required columns, okay? Like publish year, okay? If they taken this 4 column, right? And if they execute this, right? So what will happen in the executions plan, that lookup operation is happening here, right? And now it will
Yeah.
not give you the missing index syntax because you already add the index for the index seek, right? That's why it's not
Yeah.
giving you the, that's why it's not giving you the index seek operation, missing indexes message. But let's say if you don't have that uh, clustered index on title, in that case it will ask you to create a missing index, and along with these 3 columns, these 3 columns, right? And add these 3 columns in your include list, because it SQL engine is smart enough to identify that along with your index, these are the 3 columns is used in the select list. So try to add
Yeah.
these 3 columns in your index. Okay, that's what it's saying.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see the magic. Okay, so if I create this index, okay, do you think that if I create this index, adding all these columns, and if I go again if I run this select star from this, will this lookup operations will be not available in my execution plan? I mean, will it
Yeah, it
will
will be
it will be get rid of
vanished.
that, right? Vanish, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's try to create that. But I have already this index is available, right? But I have to
Yeah.
include all this. Okay, so what we can do, let's delete that index and recreate index. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
so I'm going here and deleting the index. Okay, now you can see that there's only one clustered index. Now let's go and create this index. Okay, let me copy here. Okay, now what we are saying to SQL engine, right? Along with this index, create the index on this table for this title, and along with that, sorry,
Uh,
include
column
in,
name.
include all these columns, right? That's what
Yeah.
we are saying. Okay, so let me add this bracket. Okay, and let me execute this. Okay, what is in the operations failed because an index or a
Already
statistics
exist.
already exist on the book library. So NCIX book library title, but we already deleted this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's check. Okay, refresh, 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 refresh.
Book library or table. You are
Yeah,
doing for books table
no,
in the
book library.
object explorer.
Sorry.
You are doing for books table.
Sorry, sorry,
We
sorry,
have.
sorry. Sorry, sorry, sorry. My bad. Okay, good catch, good catch. Okay,
Yeah.
let me delete this. Okay, let me delete this as well. Okay, refresh. Now, if I go and create this index, it should work, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. It's working fine now, right? Now let me close this. I don't want to save this, and let me go to my. Where is my step number 5 here? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, interesting, right? So if I go here and if I execute this, it should get rid of that key lookup options, right? Because now we
Yeah.
have added all these columns. So let's see the magic if it happens. It should, right? It should work.
Yeah. It should
If we go to the executions and sounds good, interesting, right? Now it's a index seek, right? So
index
it's,
yes.
yeah. So now you can see here that actual number of rows is one, and then estimated number of rows is also one. So
One.
this is how, just imagine, so you have millions of records, okay, and in millions of records, if you are doing this and there is key lookup option, key lookup is happening in your SQL query. So just imagine you have the 10 million records, and the query is taking the 10 seconds. And if you just adding, if that key lookup is operation is happening in your execution plan, and if you get a read of that key lookup options, even your 10 seconds query can come directly to the 5 seconds. Okay, that's what the power of
Okay.
that of covered index. Okay, so always
Okay.
remember that
Okay.
covered index is something which is very favorite topic for me. And remember that even if you, when you do a preparations, practice all this stuff, okay, do this practice carefully in detail. And when you explain
Yeah.
in your interview, everyone can talk about the indexing, clustered indexing, non-clustered indexes, but trust me, when you will talk about the covered index, interviewer will be surprised, and they will come to know that what level of depth knowledge you have. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
so I,
Okay.
whenever I got chance, whenever, this is the favorite questions of every interview, they ask what you will do to perform, improve the performance of the SQL query. So people talk about the indexing, clustered index, non-clustered index, blah blah blah. But at the on top
Yeah.
of this, when you will talk about the covered index, key lookup operations, executions plan, they will come to know that this person know everything about the executions plan in detail. This person have the depth knowledge of this executions plan and performance and the operations, and there is 99% chances that you will get selected. Okay, so always remember,
Yeah.
do a practice of this. Okay, and uh, this will give you that next level of confidence. Okay, so far so good.
Yeah.
So far so good. Any doubt, any
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
questions?
No. No.
Right, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, let me stop recording.